Welcome to Taste and Savor's Weeknight Wine. I'm Nancy Waldeck, and I'm so happy you've chosen to join us today. We are rolling into grilling season, so it's time to think rich red wines to match stuff coming off the grill. We're going to talk about Rioja today, Spain's most well-known wine. And today, it's a fun one. It's from Costco, so it's the Kirkland brand Rioja. Yes, Costco branded wine can be awesome, and this one is no exception. So, Rioja is an old world wine. It's a wine that's made in a place that has been making wine for thousands of years. And typically, old world wines are named after the place the wine is from, not the grapes in the bottle. This wine holds true to that. Rioja is in Spain, one of the world's greatest wine producing countries, with nearly 3 million acres devoted to grapevines. More than any other country in the world, as a matter of fact. And Spain is also a leader in red wine production, like this wine from Tempranillo. So let's take a look at where Rioja is in Spain. So it's in the north central area of Spain. So right here, it's an area that's bordered by mountains, and it's known for winemaking. Over 600 wineries are located just in this small area. And although Kirkland or Costco imports and sells this wine, it's actually made by a very famous winery and historic one too. It's Rioja. And I know you've seen those bottles in the store from the winery. They have the picture of a hand on the label. So this bottle, as I said, is Tempranillo, and it's 100% Tempranillo. Although 3 other grapes can be added to the bottle and it still be named Rioja. Grenache or Grenache, Graziano, and Mathuela, which is also known as Carignan in France. Rioja has a 4-tiered aging system. And the reason you care about that is because if you're looking for a bright and fruity wine, you're going to want to go to either number 1 or number 2 on the tiered system, because these wines have less oak or no oak aging. And as I said, they're bright and fruity and lighter. So that is the generic or non-age descriptive wine, or Crianza. Next up is Reserva, which is what is in our bottle right here. And Reserva has to be aged for a total of 3 years, including a minimum of 1 year in oak and 6 months in the bottle. And this one is a 2016 vintage that sees 30 months in oak and another 6 months in the bottle before it's released. And speaking of oak, something interesting about Rioja is that they use a lot of American oak barrels. We're familiar with French oak barrels, but American oak barrels also are used around the world. And the American oak barrels are going to make the wine taste a little bit different. It's going to give you more of an impression of oak and maybe some herbal flavors, and even, this sounds crazy, but coconut. And just because the region does release their wines ready to drink, like a 2016 wine is just ready to drink in 2021, doesn't mean that these wines can't age further and you can't enjoy them in the future. So you can drink it now or later. So let's take a look at this wine and taste it. So first of all, if I hold it up against a white piece of paper, it's a beautiful ruby color. And then when I swirl and smell it, and y'all, this aroma is intense. I didn't even have to really put it up to my nose before I could smell it. Oh my goodness, it smells delicious, and I bet it's gonna taste this way too. But it smells like cherries, a little spice, some herb, and I definitely get a little bit of oakiness on it, or I smell some wood. When I taste it, I'm going to check 2 things right away. The acidity at the back of my tongue, that's a good thing. Acidity balances wine, helps hold fruit flavors over time, and it also helps the wine go really well with food. Then you'll notice I ran it up underneath my front lip. That's where I can tell tannin. Tannins come from seeds, they come from skins, they come from any stems, they could even come from long aging. And tannins are what make your teeth feel like they've got a sweater on them or you need to brush them. So tannins, like acid, help hold fruit flavors over time. They also balance out the wine, and especially in big wines like this, they help with the aging process. So if we had tasted this when it had just been put in the bottle, it probably would have been tasted very harsh. So because this one definitely still has some tannins, and it's already 5 years old. You can buy this wine at Costco for, you ready for this? $7.99. So this is truly a value. You want to serve it up a little cooler than room temperature, so somewhere around 60 degrees. You can also decant this wine for a couple hours so it'll open up a little bit. We'll talk decanting in another Weeknight wine episode. Pair it with grill food. It's a natural partner for burgers or any kind of meaty meat off the grill. If you're looking for cheese, of course, Manchego is a hard sheep's milk cheese. It's gonna go great. Also, from right across Europe, Italy has aged Asiago that's gonna be a good match with this. Rioja is a super partner for lots of different kinds of charcuterie or cured meats as well. So I hope you enjoyed this Weeknight wine episode. Rioja is a star in quality and in value, and that's what we look for in Weeknight wines. It's got smooth tannins, a little wood, a lot of cherry, and a pleasant lingering aftertaste. I can still taste it. And that from Costco for $7.99 is a pretty good deal, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this Weeknight wine. I'm Nancy Waldeck with Taste and Savor, and you can find me at tasteandsavor.com. Till the next Weeknight wine, cheers to Rioja.